name's Justin Kelly, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I spend most of my time here doing photographs. Las Vegas is growing incredibly fast, and with that growth obviously comes more construction and the need to expand, and I come out to different places around the valley that aren't going to exist much longer and take photographs to try and show off the sort of the natural beauty that we have here in the desert before it's taken over by the city. Red Rock Canyon does have its main park, which is protected, but there's areas literally right outside of the park that are already having houses built, right up to the backsides of some of these mountains. Today we're gonna take a little hike here through the desert out toward one of my favorite mountains to photograph, Mount Wilson. Yeah, so before we get started out here, I gotta tell you, watch where you're going, because we do have rattlesnakes out here. We also have cactuses all over the place. The needles can go right through the bottom of your shoe, so walk carefully. I know there's a lot of people who spend a lot of time planning for shoots and picking out the perfect location and waiting for the weather, and that's probably a smart thing to do, but I grew up here, so for the most part I tend to just kind of explore, and whatever catches my eye during that hike is what I typically try and shoot. These two mountains right here, if you shoot for black and white, this is something that'll still turn out good even in these conditions, so might try and grab one of those. I actually like to come out and shoot more sort of in the middle of the day when the sun is casting some nice hard shadows across the mountains. That kind of contrast where you've got the bright spots and the really dark shadows with the texture and the lines on the mountains, that makes for some really beautiful photos. Because there's such a huge distance between wherever you're standing and the mountains, a lot of times what I end up having to do is focus stacking. Take one photo that focuses on things in the foreground near you, another photo that focuses on your object in the distance, which would be the mountain in this case, and then a lot of times I'll also take a third photo where I underexpose it so that I get my detail in my sky, and then blend all three of them together and turn it into one nice sharp image with detail from the ground up. Sometimes it's not about the giant grand vistas and the mountains and all that. Getting just intimate shots of some of these little details is great. There's actually wild burros out here, donkeys. They'll bite that whole thing right off. Big chunks taken out of them. On the very first day that I had my camera, I was actually out here near Red Rock Canyon, and I took a photo. It wasn't a very good photo. I knew I could do it better, so came back to the same spot to try and take that photo again, and it was gone. construction had come through and they had torn out all the Joshua trees, all the yuccas, everything was gone so that they could build some roads through there. And that kind of really got me going on the path I'm on now. You can see the area down here where you can see some little buildings and in the trees down there. And that's the spot where the private land's been sold and they're gonna tear it all up and build houses now. We run into a snake or something. Like, this is the kind of stuff that they tend to hang out in, is underneath the bushes here or curled up against the rocks. Yeah, don't crash into these. The mountains right behind here will get snow all winter, and so as it melts, all the water runs down through this valley, and from having all the extra water and being a little bit higher elevation than the rest of the valley, it gets a lot more green pretty quickly from where we were to right here. Windy like it is today, it kicks up a lot of dust from the desert floor and just kind of floats in the air, and as the sun goes down behind the mountain, it'll the light kind of will spill over the mountaintops and catch all that dust and creates these big beams of light that look like they're just shooting over the tops of the mountains, and can be really cool. So we've got this beautiful landscape, and within a matter of probably a year or two, there's gonna be houses right there. So who knows?